Does anybody hear Steve or Allison talking?
We are live. John?
Live?
I guess we need to talk to John again. Does he not hear us?
Oh, he said just joking.
Oh.
He's just messing with us. All right. Oh, Lynn says she doesn't hear us.
Oh, no.
Not again.
Lynn, let's see. Well, I think you have to
can
be in the
help
live
her.
show listen, or you need to be watching on YouTube.
If you're talking,
So
then
YouTube
she
just
can't
started
hear you,
up.
Steve. Oh, now she
hears.
does.
She
Okay.
must be listening on YouTube.
Very good. Yes, not the voice chat, but somehow people can hear when they're in the sidebar. I don't understand that. So, you like my
Yes.
shirt? Thanks. Andy.
Yes. And I'm not sure how that works. Who's an example? I saw someone here earlier who didn't show up in live show listen, but was in the sidebar.
I'm sleepy.
Frank's there. I can't remember
Frank.
who it was.
Actually, I think I might have something that Frank might have written. Make sure. I think it's possible. This looks like something he might make me full screen.
Hold on.
Oh, then you'll disappear, I guess.
I will, but I can still make it full screen.
Okay. That's not full screen. There's full screen. Did you write that, Frank? It says gozaimasu, but ends in a U. That, I'm not exactly sure what that means. It means something like thank you. But
Thank you very much.
thank you and goodbye. But I could never remember the words, so I think Frank wrote it. Frank's the one who wrote it down for me. Is Frank still here? Did he leave?
Well, he's still in the sidebar. He probably just... Oh, he's
stepped
typing.
away?
He's typing.
Oh, he is. Thank goodness.
He may be on a mobile device.
I see him talking.
Arigato gozaimasu. Gozaimasu.
Gozaimasu.
Oh, but you don't pronounce the su.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't say the
iPhone, yeah.
U in it. But did you write that? Because I saved it. I saved this little piece of paper with that written on it. And a bunch of stuff in Japanese on the back. Anyway.
We have a show to
I
do.
think so. Should we do a show?
We should.
All right. Well, this won't be a long show because I didn't do very much work this week. But it's going to be a long show, but not by me.
Not a long live show.
Right. All right. Here we go. Oh, we haven't done roll call, for crying out loud.
Oh, yes.
All right. We've got Kevin and Bruce and Frank and John and Sandy and Steve and Zoe.
Did we miss anyone
Small but
in
mighty.
the sidebar, for instance?
That's a good question. Roll call. Actually, Al said he was thinking of coming back into the show. Oh, and Lynn. That's right.
Okay, there's an example. I don't see Lynn in the sidebar, but she is listening to us nonetheless. Oh, but she didn't hear us. That's right.
But I don't know where she is. Yeah, you're right. She's not in the sidebar.
She is in the sidebar.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, listener Lynn. There she is in the sidebar with the little phone icon. There we
Yeah.
go. All right. But Al said he's going to come back. In fact, he wanted to come back last week. I don't know where he is this week. But
Oh, yeah. Where is he?
I don't know. Said he was going to. All right, here we go. Hi.
That's pretty good.
Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, May 25th, 2025, and this is show number 1046. A quick one here.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Except
On
for
the second try.
Hey!
Chapter mark? Where's the chapter mark? Isn't that? No. There we go. Use the wrong thing for the chapter mark. Copy link. There we go. All right. The audio and video are in sync in YouTube. What? Oh. His existing cable modem had a faulty chipset that caused latency, and you replaced it yesterday? Wow. Oh, that's crazy. From your cable modem. Wow. I did not know that was a thing.
Huh. I have never heard of that.
Yeah. All right. In Programming by Stealth, Bart has been teaching us how to create a real website for free using GitHub Pages. Part of the magic sauce is the static site generator Jekyll. In a previous installment, he taught us about liquid templates, which allow us to put in placeholders that are automatically generated by Jekyll. Automatically populated. That's the wrong word. Automatically populated. All right, then. All right. In Programming by Stealth, Bart has been teaching us how to create a real website for... Okay, don't screw it up right away. In Programming by Stealth, Bart has been teaching us how to create a real website for free using GitHub Pages. Part of the magic sauce is the static site generator software called Jekyll. In a previous installment, he taught us about liquid templates, which allow us to put in like placeholders that are then automatically populated by Jekyll to create the site. In this week's installment, we learn how to use Liquid to start creating our own theme for our website. Now, the terminology of Jekyll and Liquid is still a little bit tricky, but maybe with some worked examples that Bart gives us this week and a challenge to do for the next time we get together, maybe this is going to start to cement in our brains. You can find Bart's fabulous tutorial show notes and the audio podcast at pbs.bartificer.net. There we go. All right. I think I'll do a little preamble to this one. Actually, I should try the, I should listen to it a little bit first and see whether I already did do the preamble. I may have said something about it. Net. I've explained on my show several times how to use Be My AI to add automatic captions to your images so that when you share them on social media like Mastodon, they will automatically be included as alt text. I've taught about how to do it, and this is from a company called Be My Eyes, and I have the great joy of meeting Hans Weiberg, who is the founder of Be My Eyes. Why do I stutter on everybody's name? Great joy of meeting Great joy of meeting Hans Weiberg, who is the founder of Be My Eyes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So I've also been, we've got my friend Pat Dengler with us right here, and she's got on her Meta Ray-Bans that are a great tool for the blind to use Be My Eyes as an accessibility path to helping them understand their environments. And I hope that's what you'd like to talk about today.
Absolutely.
Or did I tell the whole story?
Pretty much, but but it is, of course, you can basically do the same thing with your phone, but having both hands free makes a huge difference. When you are in the kitchen or you have something where you need both hands to adjust something, and the fact that you can just say to the glasses, hey, Meta, be my eyes, and then we call a volunteer and you get a pair of eyes right in your face, basically. That's just totally amazing. And the real deal is that the Meta glasses, they look cool also, but the most cool thing is the price, because there are other glasses out there, but they are way more expensive, and financial accessibility is also accessibility. It doesn't matter if you have the best product if people cannot afford to use it. So we are so happy that we have been able to partner with Meta about bringing Be My Eyes to their glasses. I know that $300 is also a lot of money, but at least it is way more accessible to a way bigger group of people. So
most glasses cost $300 if you're not clever about where you buy them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I want to back us up a little bit because I sort of jumped the gun with everything I already know. So Be My Eyes is a volunteer thing where as a sighted person you can volunteer to help somebody who say wants to know where their cufflinks are in the room.
Exactly,
And you can be called to say, hey, can you help me find my cufflinks? The person holds up their phone and you answer the question. But like you say, this is now a partnership with Meta that puts them actually in the glasses. So you're always looking around and able to do that.
Exactly, yeah. And for some reason it is also easier to focus the right direction with your glasses than using your phone, because you kind of in a more natural way you point the head the right direction.
Well, and the volunteer could say, hey, turn your head a little bit to the left.
Exactly, yeah. So
now how quickly does that work? So I'm at the airport and I'm trying to find a bathroom. That's what my nightmare is, trying to find a bathroom. So I'm looking for the ladies' room. Do I tap the glasses or something to ask Be My Eyes to jump in and help me?
No, you put on the glasses and then you simply say, hey Meta, that kind of triggers the glasses, and then you say Be My Eyes, and then we start calling a volunteer. So it's super simple. You can also, at least in US and Canada and Australia, UK and Ireland, you can also use the built-in AI in the glasses. That has nothing to do with Be My Eyes, but you can simply ask the glasses, hey Meta, look and describe, and then the Meta glasses will take a picture and describe what's in front of you. So that's also a super convenient way to get a fast answer on something.
All right, I'm gonna see. When that stopped, that was kind of exhausting on the noise. I might bring this down on the lower track. Bring that right there. Bring that right there. And I'm going to add, go to this one and add the noise reduction thingy. Let's see. I've explained on my show several times how to use Be My AI to add automatic captions to your images so that when you share them on social media like Mastodon, oops. Almost cut that in half. Let's see. .net. I've explained on my show several times how to use Be My AI to add automatic captions to your images so that when you share them on social media like Mastodon, they will automatically be included as alt text. I've taught about how to do it, and this is from a company. All right.
What is that break in the
That's
audio?
where I stuttered saying, introducing him.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
I did a cut.
So make sure you apply it to both halves.
I think the way this works, it applies it to the whole track.
Oh, well, I'll check it.
Great joy of meeting Hans Weiberg, who is the founder of Be My Eyes. It's a little harsh. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So I've also been, we've got my friend Pat Dengler with us right here, and she as alt text. I've taught about how to do it, and this is from a company called Be My Eyes, and I have the great joy of meeting Hans Weiberg, who... All right, enough fooling around. Save. Oh, there's an idea. All right. You know, Jill's going to stop using Hindenburg. I think, in fact, she already has.
Oh.
And so now I'm not going to be able to lean on her. Okay, this next one's going to be pretty funny. She's kind of moving her podcast more towards video. So she's using Final Cut right now and then exporting the audio out and using some plugins and stuff she got to produce the audio files. How could she forsake me? Right? Oh, hi, Ian. Yeah, she learned stuff so fast. She was using a tool called Descript to do a bunch of the work on her audio, and it failed on her, and she lost like 4 shows that she had recorded. She lost everything she did. So in a night, she learned how to use Final Cut. She's nuts. All right, let's hear this transition here.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Go up here, and I'm going to go find Dolphin. That doesn't need to be that big. You can be here. No, not Dolphin. No, mine. This one. All right. A few weeks ago, I was on Clockwise number 604, and one of the questions was, WWDC is about a month away. What is one feature you're hoping to see in one of the OS updates? I thought this was an interesting question, not just on its merits alone, but because I was on Clockwise 552 a year ago when essentially the same question was asked. I keep a running list of ideas for articles for the NosillaCast using the text editor organizer app Bear. Often these ideas are recorded maybe just as a title, but many times I actually start writing the article in depth, but never finish. I may lose interest, I may just forget I was even working on the article, or sometimes I get partway through and I realize, maybe this story isn't that interesting after all. Well, this week I sat down to start writing for the show and I thought I'd scroll through my ideas, and I stumbled across something funny. I had started an article elaborating on my answer to the Clockwise question a full year ago, but I never finished it and I never published it. I thought it'd be fun to finish the article and see where Apple may have made progress and where they haven't. Now, the first thing to point out is that last year's question was very specifically what enhancements we would like to see in Apple's built-in apps on iOS through the use of AI. Now, I don't want to rehash the disappointing stumble that has been Apple Intelligence, but it's going to be a little hard to step around it, but I'm definitely not going to beat that one because everybody else already has. The first category I wrote about was Apple Photos. I'm a big user of Apple Photos with more than 100,000 images and videos synced across my devices. One of my beefs with Apple is that Photos doesn't have feature parity between macOS and iOS. I have many thoughts on all of the places the two versions differ, but the main one where AI could help is with findability of specific photos. To aid in findability, already I organize my images using titles, tags, captions, albums, smart albums, and folders, but I still have trouble finding things. In my unfinished wish list for 2024, I suggested Apple could let me search using natural language with AI. What I wrote was that it would be awesome if I could ask it to create an album with photos taken last weekend, but only the ones I took at Lindsay's house that had one or both of my grandchildren in them. Now, while I'm not normally good at seeing the future, Apple promised that very thing in the keynote in 2024. They said we'd be able to ask, quote, "Show me photos of Stacy in a red coat in New York." I still want that magical world to exist, but it doesn't yet. Now, I also had an AI angle for calendar a year ago. I wanted to be able to ask for several things sequentially that were related. The example I gave was, "Hey, yes, lady, move this weekend's Programming by Stealth appointment from Saturday to Sunday, send a notification to Bart about it, and make sure to remind me to work out early on Sunday, then add a reminder for the Tuesday before when I get home to start working on my homework." Well, at WWDC in 2024, they described a scenario that was very much in the vein of my little dream. They said you'd be able to ask Yes Lady, "When's my mom's flight landing?" from an email, and then "What's our lunch plan?" from a text message, and then "How long will it take to get there from the airport?" The dream is still alive, but I'm not sure at this point I'd really trust AI to do all of these things, even the good ones that are out there today. So I'm actually okay if they don't get around to this one anytime soon. Now, a year ago, when I started writing about my hopes and dreams for WWDC, I went on a long rant about how much I dislike Apple Messages. One of my beefs with Messages is that you can't search within a message thread. You can only search all messages sent and received. For example, this week I was trying to remember which doorbell it is that listener Lynn has at her house, so I wanted to look at doorbell under Listener Lynn, but instead I had to look at Doorbell for every message I'd ever sent and received using iMessage. And obviously it never found the answer doing it that way. One of the many reasons I choose Telegram as a texting client is that it supports search within a thread. It seems to me that you would need AI to make search more functional. It seems to me. It seems to me that you really don't need AI to make search more functional in Messages, but perhaps if they're heck bent on Apple Intelligence, they could use it to solve this problem. What if I could ask Messages to show me all conversations I had with my friend Diane where we mentioned the character Jock from the TV show Dallas, but only the ones where we referred to when he died on the show? Apple spent time kind of dancing around on stage about this send later feature in Messages, but they didn't directly address my dream. They did include crawling your messages using Apple Intelligence in their example about meeting up with mom for lunch, so I don't know, maybe there's hope yet. Or they could just make a better search for messages, and I'd be happier with that. Now, I think search inside many apps made by Apple could be improved with AI, but the primary place I had hoped to see it arrive was in the App Store. For example, one of my pet peeves is that even though I'm subscribed to Apple Arcade, I can't search with a filter of arcade only. Sounded funny. I can't. For example, thank you. For example, one of my pet peeves was that even though I'm subscribed to Apple Arcade, I can't search with a filter of arcade-only results. I wanted to be able to ask it to show me arcade-only math games designed to improve arithmetic skills for 10-year-olds with 4 or more stars. I mean, the games have 4 stars, not the kids. Well, maybe they should be 4-star kids. Anyway, the good news is that just recently, Apple did start allowing you to specify Apple Arcade in your search, so that's awesome. For example, you can search for Mahjong in Apple Arcade, and after an ad to buy another Mahjong game, you'll see Titan Plus in Apple Arcade, which is followed by a bunch of solitaire games, but at least they're from Arcade. I'm not sure that counts as AI, though, does it? It could just be a better filter. I tried my more advanced search, and while it did come back with math games that were 4 stars and above, the results weren't limited to Apple Arcade games. I tried different permutations of the request, and I had no better luck. Now, the entire data set of every app, description, and rating in the App Store, that isn't that much data, right? Compared to what AI is ingesting on the entire internet? So in comparison, this really shouldn't be that high of a stretch goal. All right, should we even talk about HomeKit? My mom always told me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But I'm going to disobey it. Sorry, Mom. A year ago, I tried to come up with constructive ideas where AI could help with HomeKit, but I'm not honestly sure any amount of AI would help fix the root problems with home automation in general. But for completeness, let's just finish this exercise. My first thought was that AI could help us create the automation rules for our homes. I want to be able to say, when I come home, unlock the front door, turn on the hallway lights, and start playing some smooth jazz on the speakers in the living room. Now, in theory, you can create those rules by hand in the Home app, but it's a real bear to create. So why can't AI do that? Even if AI could create the rule for you, we are so far from this working anyway, because invariably the S-Lady would respond with, some of your devices are not responding, and I'm too lazy to tell you which ones. I think that's my biggest problem with home automation. It's the unreliability. When it works, it's just glorious, but so often it randomly doesn't. I've heard people talk about why golf is addicted. They say because sometimes you make the most amazing shot, and you keep hoping that's going to happen again someday. Home automation is Home automation is kind of like that. Now, the map apps from Apple had a rocky start, but now it's my go-to for travel planning and finding out exactly where a country is on a map. I know that sounds funny, but geography was not my strong suit. When it comes to AI, last year I asked for one thing and I didn't get it. Let's say I want to send flowers to Lindsay the daughter. I would like to be able to ask Maps. Why do it keep just stopping in the middle of a word? I would like to be able to ask Maps to show me local florists near her house. It should be able to do that because it knows what a florist is, it has lists of them everywhere, and it knows where Lindsay's lives. But I can't ask those two things together. Unlike many of my other demands, this is something I do want to do all the time. Did I say that right? Unlike many of my other demands, this is something I do want to do all the time. I asked Maps this question, and it showed me a list of florists in Cleveland. Lindsay doesn't live in Cleveland. The florist didn't even have the name in Cleveland. I don't understand why it showed me a florist in Cleveland. Now, if I first... Just stumbling. Now, if I first search for Lindsay by name, Maps zooms right to her home. If I then search for florist, it zooms out a bit and it shows me florists near her home. So how hard would it be for Apple Intelligence to put those two pieces together? That seems like an easy win, right? With many things like this, we can point to where Google can do it better, but guess what? Google Maps can't execute this maneuver either. Now, bottom line is this hasn't been an exhaustive list of everything I'd like to hear from WWDC in a few weeks, but I enjoyed going back to my wish list from a year ago and checking in on whether Apple had advanced my personal causes even further. Not even further, any further. And checking in on whether Apple had advanced my personal causes even further. By the way, don't forget that when WWDC happens in a couple of weeks, we will be in the live chat room at podfeet.com/chat if you want to join us to talk about whether all of our hopes and dreams have come true.
The post has some problems with the images.
That image looks horrible.
Yeah, there's actually text about 5 characters wide to the right of the image.
Yeah, I noticed that when how did I not notice that? But yeah, let me just write a note here to work on that. It's like I never looked at it.
I hope not.
Huh?
I mean, if you looked at it and thought it was fine, that...
No, I looked at it in my preview here and it looks like poo-poo. Sandy, if you see things looking visually like poo-poo, you can yell at me about that too. I resorted to threatening the little bugger with going into that dark drawer and still not gonna back in the drawer, you bad little switch. Wait, what switch was it? Yes, let's talk about HomeKit. I got to see what he wrote to start with. Where did it go? I don't think I can find the beginning.
A Wemo smart plug to connect to a neighbor's Wi-Fi network.
Oh.
He was helping his neighbor out. A couple hours.
Yuck. You know, I would like to say one nice thing about Wemo, though. We had... we're having a terrible time with some Wemos, and we decided to call them on the phone, and they answered, and they worked with us for like, I don't know, an hour and a half, and they didn't end up solving the problem, but these were on switches that were like 3 or 4 years old. We ended up figuring out that it was the classic, it needed to be on 2.4 gigahertz problem. Once we'd solved it, we actually called them back and told them because we were so happy that they'd spent all that time with us. So...
Boy, that must have been a long time ago. That's the first thing we check now.
Yeah. You don't remember that call? You were on that call.
Vaguely.
All right. And now it's going to be Dolphin. Dolphino next. I'm actually done talking for the show, which is good. Whoops. Chapter mark.
Ooh, close.
Did Kevin remind me? No. All he said was save. Kevin. That was loud. Oh, this should be on here. And dreams have come true. Well, I came to this booth because Mary Jo Berry was giving dolphin balloons away to children, and but it's actually a company that's doing some interesting work, helping with people who have trouble with print media on. You know, I never said up front that these are CSUN interviews. Well,
that's right. Well, is this the beginning? Were these the first ones? I think, didn't you start those last week?
Maybe, but you never know whether somebody listened to the... Oh, well. What are you going to do? All right, how about some Alistair Jenks? It's going to end up a long show again. Oh, regular listeners will know, yeah. I just realized that I forgot to introduce these interviews from this week with Be My Eyes and Dolphin are from the CSUN Accessible Tech Conference. Just a fantastic conference, and we got some great interviews, so I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys are too. It's kind of weak, but oh, now I've got a problem. I don't want to apply that filter to Alistair. Maybe I'll just put him on my track. I don't normally do that, but... Oh, the reason I had him right there was I wasn't going to have my voice compared to his. I hate having my voice right before his. Like, his dulcet tones. All right. Oh, Dolphin. Oh, interesting. It was accessibility software? Zoe? That's her lead programmer. Nice. Oh, nice. What do you use the external storage for, Ian? I hope you guys are too.
Early in 2025, my new DSLR camera arrived. It's a Pentax.
Dagnabbit. Okay. He didn't introduce himself again. Do I have to do everything? Let's switch gears and listen to a little... Let's switch gears and have a listen to Alistair Jenks diving deep into a really fun topic. All right, here we go. There we go.
Early in 2025, my new DSLR camera arrived.
I didn't like that. I want a little bit more air there.
Early in 2025, my new DSLR camera arrived. It's a Pentax K3 Mark III and it's outstanding. One of the features it has that improves over my earlier Pentax KP is a UHS-2 high-speed SDXC memory card slot. Faster sounds better, so I thought I'd buy a faster SD card. Should be easy, right? The card I initially focused on was the SanDisk Extreme Pro 300 MB per second SDXC C10 V60 U3 UHS-2 128 GB. Clearly the best one for the task, right? Okay, I need to be able to decipher that soup of letters and numbers to know what I am getting. Let's find out about what we collectively call SD cards. First, there are three completely independent classifications in play: the physical size, the capacity class, and the speed class. Let's look first at physical size. The original SD card was introduced in 1999 and is about the size of a postage stamp. Kids, ask your parents. With the advent of smaller and smaller electronic devices, this was too big for many. A slightly smaller mini SD form was introduced in 2003, targeted at mobile phones, but only a year later the tiny micro SD was launched. It measures slightly less than half the dimensions of the original. Micro SD has become very popular in phones as well as small consumer electronics devices, also in any small crevice where you might drop one. Next comes the capacity class. The original SD card standard maxed out at 2 GB. I recently found an old card in a box that was 8 megabytes. That's not even enough for one raw photo on my camera. As time and technology marched on, the 2 GB barrier needed to be raised. Enter SDHC in 2006. The HC stands for high capacity. This raised the limit to 32 GB. It's also worth noting that the smallest size of SDHC was 2 GB. In 2009, the capacity was increased again. The SDXC, extended capacity, standard encompasses 32 GB up to a whopping 2 TB. Who'd need more than that on a single card, right? In 2018, SDUC ultra capacity was introduced. It starts at 2 TB and tops out at an astonishing 128 TB. SDUC is a nascent format with the world's first 4 TB card due for release in 2025. For my camera, that's enough space for over 64,000 photos in RAW format, more than I have amassed in 20 years of digital photography, or 168,000 JPEGs. Okay, that's the easy stuff covered. There are different physical sizes and different logical sizes. Mini SD is rare in my experience, but you can generally get the HC or XC capacities in either SD or micro SD size. So that just leaves speed, the bit I was really trying to find out about. Buckle in. The first wrinkle we have to deal with is that there are 4 speeds to consider: minimum and maximum write speed, and minimum and maximum read speed. For the most part, minimum read speed is not talked about, so yay, we only have to worry about 3. Except we also have to deal with 3 different ways of classifying speed. The early cards had a speed class. These are marked on the cards as a number enclosed by a large letter C, essentially a circle with the right side cut out. These speeds were one of 2, 4, 6 or 10 megabytes per second, and denoted a minimum write speed. In 2025, you'll be unlikely to find a new card that has anything besides C10, as few modern devices will even operate at lower speeds. Next came the UHS speed class. This is denoted on cards as a number enclosed in a stylized letter U. It looks like the symbology for a beaker you might find in a science lab. There are only 2 UHS speed classes. U1 is 10 megabytes per second, the same as C10, and U3 is 30 megabytes per second. Again, these are minimum write speeds. But wait, progress demands change, right? More recently introduced is the video speed class, so called as it was introduced to satisfy those shooting 4K video. This is represented on cards as a slightly stylized letter V followed by a number, one of 6, 10, 30, 60 or 90. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the number is the same measure as for UHS speed class, megabytes per second. I find it...
All right, well, I can't give you all this goodness. It's going to be a long show. Ooh, there we go. 47 minutes. Would have been perfect even without that. Yeah, I thought that was a sweet way to say it. The tech bashful. Let's see. Well, thanks for that, Alistair. You know, I love me a rabbit hole dug down into, so that was really fun. I was a little bit surprised. I thought part of this, or the main thing, was going to be how fast you could take photos, that your camera was going to be demanding. Maybe you wanted to do burst mode, and would it be able to keep up, that sort of thing. Had never occurred to me this was all about reading the images in after the fact, but that's pretty fun. I enjoyed it, and I feel like it's completely demystified. I totally understand it now. Yeah, Ian, I love that. That was very sweet. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, support the show. Time for copy link. Cha-ching. Well, I recently asked folks if they would consider writing reviews for the NosillaCast in Apple Podcasts, and a few people delivered in spades. Bruce FBC, Brian from East Texas, and JLTO the third all wrote terrific reviews, and Pieman7 even included Steve in his thanks for the show. All of these warmed my heart. If you'd like to warm my heart too, consider going to the link in the show notes and writing your own lovely review. Actually, all of these warmed my heart. If you'd like to warm my heart too, you can open up Apple Podcasts and see if you can figure out how to find my show and do a rating for it, or you can use the link in the show notes and write your own lovely review. I do not. Do you all know who JLTO33 III is? 333? 3? I don't know. I don't. That's not John. Is it? You would have said NASA nut, no? No, that wouldn't be him. Is it really? John, your last name doesn't start with a T. Well, John, you said nice things.
There's an O there. JLTO.
Right.
So there's two middle names. Ormsby is the last letter.
Oh, that's what it is. I think I did know you were a third. Well, that's fun. Thank you. No, it starts with an O. Right, but what's the LT? Lieutenant. Oh, and you're Bruce FBC. Oh, nice. All right, thanks, Bruce. That's fantastic. Now all we need to do is figure out Louis Tarascon? I never know whether he's serious or not. You think that's real? Let's see, let's drop in here.
I'm guessing that's real.
Serious? You're never serious. So Bart and I have been struggling, trying to figure out why we are stepping on each other all the time in recording these days, that we've had a terrible time with lag or jitter. And
maybe
all
he
of a
needs a
sudden
new cable modem.
all of a sudden, it got way better. Like, we don't know why. Oh, yeah, I see the joke you're making. All right.
So this time it was perfect.
Yeah, the last two calls we've had, it's been like, I don't know, 90 milliseconds. It's been really great. Let's see how this sounds. Yeah, Bruce says the same thing. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Bouchotz. What's shaking this week, Bart?
I can tell you that if you'd like to burn 2 hours worth of calories in an hour and 40 minutes, you should play a game of Dodge the Thunderstorm. It's exhilarating.
Is that what you did today or yesterday?
No, today. Our weather is nuts today. It is like cycling in a hairdryer, and there's these thunderstorms are bubbling up and coming shooting past. And so you're on the bike and you're just scanning the horizon going, I'll go right for a while. Phew. Oh, that one's by me. Oh, better go this way now. There's one over there. I made it all the way home. I'm still dry. It was fun.
That's amazing. Well, we're having a Memorial Day little event on Monday, and we're trying to decide whether people need to bring a sweater.
Oh no!
So we've got it could be overcast.
Whatever will you do? What if it rains?
Well, yeah, I remember rain.
Okay.
Remember, we live in Beyond Thunderdome here. All right, we should probably get to it.
Yes, so feedback and follow-ups. No feedback as such, but I do have a little follow-up to a story from an amount of weeks ago that is not very many, but I don't think it was last time we recorded.
All right, that's enough teasing there. Let's see, is there anything I'm supposed to remember to remind everybody of? Hour and 28 minutes.
Let's see. Is it too early to talk about? Well, I guess you mentioned WWDC.
Yeah, yeah.
You could mention the date. Or do we have a date, right?
I think it's a week
June?
from Monday, isn't it? It's a week from Monday.
Oh, we don't have it on our calendar. Oh, no.
Yeah, we do.
So it's
Don't
not.
we?
It's 2 weeks from Monday,
Oh,
the 9th.
that's a week from Monday. Oh, no, it is 2 weeks from Monday. Oh. June 9th. You're right. Actually, we've got it in there twice. Why is
Yeah.
it in there?
10 and 1.
No. There's a
keynote-
platform State of the
keynote.
Union, but I've got WWDC in the calendar for that day. I've got WWDC keynote, WWDC 25 Apple keynote, and then so I've got it in there 3 times.
Yeah, one of your entries is 5 days. It's just
Yeah,
all
that was
day.
just to remember when it was. I don't need that one anymore. But I think
I only have 2 of those, so 3. Keynote and
I think
platform
it's the
state-of-the-art.
Apple invitation ended up in the calendar. Save? Oh, there's an idea. All right. All right. It's on June 9th at 10 a.m., right?
Pacific.
Podfeed chat. All right, that is going to wind us up this week. Do not forget to join us on June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time at podfeed.com/chat, where we are going to text back and forth to each other while watching WWDC's keynote. We are not going to be live in voice. This will be just texting. So that link will get you directly to the Discord chat that we do use during the live show. But again, no video, no audio is going to be coming through. It's just got everybody just going to be typing whether they're disappointed or delighted. Hope you'll join us. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, did you know you can email me at allison@podfeed.com anytime you like? If you have a question or a suggestion, just send it on over. Remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. You can follow me on Mastodon at podfeed.com/Mastodon. If you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube, you can go to podfeed.com/YouTube. If you want to join the conversation, you can join our Slack community at podfeed.com/Slack. And in there, you can talk to me and all of the other lovely Nosilla castaways. You can support the show at podfeed.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeed.com/donate, where you can use Apple Pay or any credit card. Or if you like PayPal, we've got that too, podfeed.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. There we go. Bring you down 5. And stay subscribed. Oh, I didn't know you had remind me to unmute in there. That's good. I don't see anything muted. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 7. What do you got, Steve?
Let me count.
26, 4, 13.
7.
Good. All right.
We are good.
I think we're good there. Export. Where's the right place to export? I'm going to let class out early at 10 to 6. and hopefully get your show out by 6 o'clock. It'll be amazing.
Early.
Well, thanks for coming, everybody. This was fun. It was nice
Yeah.
and chattery. Nice to see you again, Ian.
Good to get.
Nice to have you back,
together.
Frank. Sorry, Steve.
It was good to get together again. We miss our time together.
Yeah, it was lonely last time, just sitting in a. Was I in? Where did I do it? I must have done it in Kyle's studio, Kyle's office.
Yeah,
The pleasure was all yours. Thanks, Kevin.
that's what we miss.
Yep.
Snarkiness.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm going to
All
say
right.
goodbye. Steve,
We're
cut
gonna-
us off.
We're going to
Bye,
end this
everybody.
stream. We're going out.